Okay, sorry guys. When I try and go live, I've just been having so many problems with my other camera. So sorry about the view here. It's not going to be the greatest. But this is all we can do for now. Okay. I've been guided again to come in here and just kind of spit out some stuff. So I'm going to go through my regular cards here and see if we can't pick up on some energies here that might help some people or whatnot. Okay. Alrighty. I don't have my microphone. None of my setup is here, so everything's all weird. Okay. Bear with me here. I've been, believe it or not, spending the last half hour trying to get this bloody thing running. It just won't run my other camera that's all set up and rigged. It won't run it. So anyway. Okay, so yeah. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna see what kind of energy. I don't know what they want me to come in for or nothing. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. Okay, so welcome if you're in. If not, I don't think there's anybody in here. Again, I don't announce a lot of stuff here. We're gonna go through. We got a lot of decks here. My masculine, feminine, the sun and moon was requested by the energies themselves. This one was as well. This one was. And yeah, these are all requested. So there's specific energy that they carry that they want to express through these. And I can't even with my hands with this deck. Okay, here we go. We'll do the original 3 here. It's just Thanksgiving here in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Managed to get some time to myself here. Okay. One by one. Alrighty, where are my glasses? Sorry, guys. Okay, so the first card. Let me get some light over here. Enter the chamber of healing. Let's see, where does this go? Okay. Enter the chamber of healing, healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. So, what this would mean, I feel like this is kind of like saying the divine feminine. Isis is that feminine side of things. And again, everybody's masculine and feminine. It's whatever day, right? Which way do you flow with that energy, right? Some days we're feeling very in charge, very decisive, this kind of thing. It's typically the masculine energy. And when you're feeling soft, compassionate, and warm and gentle, that's typically the feminine. Okay. So give me a moment here. I feel, they did mention the masculine and feminine decks, though it's not needed, is what they said. But I feel like this is for masculines. Healing the feminine energy within is what I do feel. I feel like at this time, this may be going out to masculine. Or again, you could be a feminine in a masculine energy, and this could be going out. Again, I hope I'm not too close to the mic. I have a loud, protruding voice. So, but for now, the energy I'm feeling is this is for feminine or for masculines healing their feminine side. So we may have either masculines in toxic energy or masculine in all masculine energy and no feminine, not allowing that feminine energy in to heal with compassion, this and whatnot, and heart. So this is what I'm getting out of here so far, and that's basically they're emphasizing the two pillars here quite highly to me. And I do feel like that's a masculine and feminine side, right? And how they have to be balanced, and they have to know each other. So if you're a masculine in a heavy masculine energy, you have to at least be aware that there's a feminine side to you in order to heal that. So this is part of that healing process, is what I'm getting. Okay, that's where we're starting from there. Next card. Scales of balance, don't you know? Ancient Tantra of the soul. Okay, this is making sense here, right? Because the masculine and feminine. And I am noticing that blue ribbon around her waist. And of course, she's a feminine with a lot of blue on her. So that's saying to me, look at us getting all, even with our masculine selves. So I feel like this is the feminine. And they are balancing out the masculine within themselves. Now it's interesting because they're making me aware. I might have to do some research. You can see right here, there's like I don't know what that means, but they're going, this means, right, that would be, I guess, a masculine and facing a feminine, right? So I don't know if that, I don't know what that is, but I feel like it's some, I'm going to have to look that up and post it. Again, look for my communities tab for anything that may accessorize this reading. Yeah, there's something with that. I'm going to have to research. Now here, I feel like this is the bottom right here of the, what do you call it? The Ankh symbol. And that is above, below, everything. Universal energies guiding us to balance these, facing the masculine, facing the feminine. Yeah, see, it's interesting. I made a comment on a lady's, what was her name? Astra 5D something. I had I'd caught her energy come up in my feed, and I was listening to her readings, and I was like, that's interesting. She's kind of picking up on the same stuff I'm picking up on. And one of the things was the moon cycles and watching them for insight into your patterns of behavior and also other people's patterns of behavior. And one of the things too that I just I've always been guided to spit out is the fact that the divine masculine and feminine coming together. Give me a minute here. Yeah. Excuse me. I feel like this is the masculine. And it's interesting because we have two faces here, but they're both in masculine energy. And we have two faces here, and one's masculine and one I'm perceiving as feminine. And the balance, there is somewhat of a balance in the feminine, but the masculine is outright either rejecting the feminine side completely, or we're still having a problem letting that compassion, that side, the gentle side in. And especially at this time, right, when everything seems to be flowing into a way of chaos and whatnot. Yeah, masculine's going to have a hard time dipping into his compassion when he's not even met it yet. We're not even understanding this, where the feminine is dipped into the assertive side of the masculine energy. They've met that energy, and I feel like the feminines have also overdone that. They've already pedal to the metal on the masculine side, because it's a masculine society that's switching. The energies are switching into a more feminine valued energy, whereas before it was a masculine valued. And this is the discrepancy at this time. Wow, this is interesting. So for now, this is, the masculine is dealing with his masculine energy and not wanting to introduce, and maybe they're going, it's not that we don't want, it's we have no idea, it's veiled to us. They're showing me this right, this veil, it's completely blocked out to us. We have no experience with it, we have no understanding of it, and this is what's going on. again, where the feminine is been introduced to it, and they've overbalanced, underbalanced. Now they're getting their scales at the right set, where we can use our assertiveness to get us forward, but not to overbear, this kind of thing. Okay, interesting. It's good. Third, past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you. So, again, the cobras, right? There's a lot of meaning here. Now, the first thing you see is that clock ticking, time, right? And time will pass no matter, right? Whether the masculine heals or deals or is introduced to that feminine side, time will pass no matter if we, open up to that energy or not. Same with the feminine, whether she balances or what. Time is going to pass here. Now, give me a moment to tune in. Yeah, they're going. Notice the blue and orange in here is quite balanced, and they go. Notice how the blue, the symbolizing of the feminine dealing with the masculine energy within themselves. We're not talking about a person outside. We're talking about interior, how we deal with life and ourselves and our world. We're balancing our energies, okay? But and they go, look at the orange in here. It's all orange, and that blue, right, symbolizing they got a little bit of blue around there. They're surrounded by examples of, but again, reflecting it rather than not reflecting, but kind of like Teflon, right? It's not sticking to them. They're seeing it, they're witness to it, and they just, it seems so foreign. So just an awareness of that energy. Okay, getting back. Okay, this always, right? Past life. So we're talking about energies of the past here. And I feel a resistance to this as well. I feel like some of the masculines may be in high resistance for their belief system of past life and all that. If they were to open up to this belief system of a past life period, this could help them out. Now, whether you do or don't believe in this stuff, I've been witness to people that they don't really disbelieve, but they weren't hanging on a moment where this would make sense to them. You know what I mean? It's the past life. I don't know. It's nice for the romantic side of the movies and whatnot. That was the sense that I got from this person. But once they were aware of a past life, and it was revealed, like I had revealed to them that this is what happened in a past life. And the funny thing was, is I wasn't really even on, meaning I wasn't really channeling in a session. Like this person didn't pay for, they just came to me, and I spilled out a story that I had had, and it just managed to deal with this person and me being in a past life. And as I wrote, because I think what I did was I wrote it all down in a short story, because this person was interested in that story. And I said, if you want to hear it, I'll write it down. You could read it whenever. And I gave it to them to read whenever. And the funny thing was, again, before this person did not believe or disbelieve in it. They just heard of it and they just kind of disregarded it. And after I had sent that story, it brought tears to that, their deep emotional connection to it. They realized that this when you have a deep emotional connection to something, especially these masculines that are, I wouldn't say they're blocking their feminine side, they're just not learned with the emotional side of things, doesn't come up easily to them. When that happens, with these things that come out of the blue, and it could come in a myriad of ways. It could come as a dream. It could come as, you're watching a movie and suddenly something about that movie resonates with you, but it's, you realize there's something weird here, but it brings out huge emotional tsunamis of feelings, right? So this is all about that, about, recognizing. But the bottom line here, what I was trying to get to with the story, was that once that person heard the story, it changed something in their life drastically. And once they it wasn't even accepting past life or no, it was there was some kind of an emotional release for that person, and they just realized like, whoa. And it changes things. And I mean, there's people that study this, that past life regressionists, whatnot. They go through a lot of this stuff that you cannot deny that there's connections here. So we're talking about all that kind of stuff now. I feel like what they're trying to say to me to translate is that whether or not we reject these things that come at it, like again, it could come through dreams, could come through just feeling a strong connection to a person, place, things that remind you and take you back to, and you go like, there's no reason I in this life I'm not lived this, this is not something, but there's huge emotional connection. That's part of that. Now, a lot of these are going to come up to bear for both the masculine and the feminine, right? They're here, one, to help us understand the cycles, right? Past life, present power. Because if we understand our past life, there's the saying, we're doomed to repeat it. And there's also the saying, once, what do you call it? Once you're illuminated, you have power over situations. Once you see. So, I don't know. There was a movie. I can't remember if it was if it's going in line with my point here or not, but it was basically about a couple where they, oh man, I'm not going to get into it, but anyway, you could be repeating cycles really, because some of the readings that I had before were people are repeating cycles from a past life. And a lot of these cycles, in order to grow, we have to stop repeating them, because we just tend to keep flipping and flipping into these cycles. Like, okay, so say in a past life, um, the husband murders the wife or whatever. I know I'm going tragic, but whatever. Um, and then in this life, they can how do you say, they can right their wrongs, but they choose not to. They do it again, and they repeat it again and again and again. This is, a lot of people are falling in these traps, and just give me a minute. I'll find out why that is. Yeah, again, the speed of life, because we're not slowing down long enough to take in these little essence, uh, you know, waves from spirit. We're not taking in our synchronistic events that are happening to illuminate us to things. We're disregarding a lot, right? If people, we don't talk about it, right? So therefore, it's not valid, or we don't find people that want to talk. It's kind of like talking about sex. People don't want to talk about it, or they do. Maybe they do, but they don't. So then, there's a lot of room for error there, because we're not being open about it or talking about it. It's the same thing with the past lifestyle. You don't want to be looked at as I don't know, crazy, or I think in this day and age, there's a big gap there. There's people that just will not talk about past life stuff because they don't believe in it. It's against their. And then there's other people that talk about it like it's no big deal. Um, and I don't know that there's many in between. But anyway, this is really what I'm getting here, is we need to, because some people are getting in their dreams, visions and stuff, or it feels like me, but it don't look like me. I look different. It's so they're going, it's not me, but we're going go with the feeling of, if you're in a dream time and you're being put into another body, they're going, appreciate what is felt there, and appreciate it from your point of view, and appreciate it from the point of view that you had in the dream. Like, look at it from both aspects. They're going, we need to understand the differences, and how does this person similar than me, how is it different? Because I had a dream, I was this girl, with long dark hair, and I was slim, and I was like, huh, that's not me. So I'm not slim, but that's okay, right? For now. But anyway, this is, you got to understand, well, in that life I felt this way about myself, and how is it different than now, and why is it that I feel that now, what am I going through, because there's a lot of lessons that are, how do you see, back then it's interesting because as a skinny person back then, I had more issues dealing with other people than I do now. Like I had less self-confidence, interestingly enough, as I do now, in different ways, right? Because if you're a bigger person, you kind of always have that self confidence or a lack of self confidence. I mean, if you're going to the beach or certain things like that, kind of blow that up. But when I'm dealing with people one on one on the daily, I don't have problem. But in that dream, I was shy. So that was a barrier for me, and past life. So they're wanting you to analyze that, look at that, take from it what you will. Okay, because I'm rambling a little too far off these cards here. Yeah. So the masculine and feminine, the feminine's balancing out energy, the masculine's having a hard time. They don't want to correlate with that energy. They really want to blanket out. They're going, it's okay, we have the blanket up there. We're fine with that. It's very uncomfortable for the masculine to go behind that screen and cry and feel and be compassionate. This is foreign to a lot of men. But then again, we could have men in feminine energy to have no problem with this, but I'm talking about the ones that do have a problem. And then we have feminine energies balancing that out. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into the wisdom in the house of night to clarify here as we go deeper. Sorry, I got carried away with the past life card. A lot of people are I mean, your third eyes are opening up. Your heart is I mean, I feel like the third eye has been open for a while. Some people just denying that altogether. They just don't take it for what it's worth. They just feel, whoa, my imagination's running away with me, this kind of thing. Yeah, and they're going is not. There's a lot of meat in that information. Like we can get a lot of answers in our imagination if we let it waft over us, but we're kind of disregarding a lot of stuff that's flying by in our imagination that we could utilize, not only as a human evolution process, right, to evolve us as a human, but to help us with our own daily personal lives, right? Dealing with others, period. Okay. One more. Okay. And okay, I don't read reversals per se, but take it into account. Okay, so we're talking about this masculine, right? Chamber of healing, divine chamber of Lady Isis. I feel like the universe is going to pull these masculines having a hard time healing their divine self, and pull them behind the veil and make them see all the compassion, feel all the heart, feel with eyes that are bigger than themselves. That's what they said. So if we don't have the heart to feel, they're going to gain that heart. They're going to gain all the compassion, all that they need to feel. And it's going to be overwhelming because these masculines a lot of them have held it at bay for so long. So we may have emotional collapses, men that are having a lot of emotional collapses at this time, a lot of overwhelming feelings at this time. It is literally, showing me like a dinosaur egg cracking and opening up, and it's just super bright light. So bright it brings tears to you. It's like that. And that's the thing, is it's so overwhelming because it's like coming out of that cave, right? And sorry about my hands are all drying, chapped. But anyway, coming out of the cave and seeing the light is just so bright, it makes tears to your eyes. Now, This is what's going to happen during the course of this. It's going to create chaos in our lives because we're really going to fight it. The sense that I'm getting here is they're going to wrap themselves up in that sheet and they just don't want to see it. And the universe is going to pull and pull and pull at you until you face it. Yeah, worst fear. They're going, this is some of the masculine's worst fear, losing control of their emotions. And this is exactly what's happening because that control was never healthy to begin with, but they didn't understand that from the point of view. And even though that's what's happening and creating chaos here in their life, it is really going to bring in that new way of dealing with everything in their life. There suddenly is going to be, even though it's coming in the form of chaos hitting us, it's like, oh, I've dealt with something a certain way all this time, and now they're going to take that away from me. Suddenly I have to deal in a different way because I've got all these emotions, I've got all these feelings. I have to deal differently, and I don't want to deal differently. But guess what? You have no choice. It's part of the evolution, because you either go with compassion or you go down. And they don't understand that it is like we're at a crossroads here. We either go with compassion or go down. We're going fighting because we don't want to feel compassion, but they don't understand the whole process, right? So while heavy fight on the masculine side to change anything from being the way that it was. Okay. On the feminine side, right? The balancing of masculine and feminine. We're striking, they said, we're striking the balance here. We may not be completely, and we may find certain situations trigger us to go a little on this side or a little on that side, but we're trying to gain that balance. Now, yeah, self-worth. Yeah. So what they're saying here is self-worth is, as we come into balance, this self-worth, how do you gauge that? Comes up as the more we balance, the more self-worth we have, right? Because the more we see, yeah, they're giving me a feeling of, okay, there's self-worth and self-satisfaction. So let's put this down. And as we begin to balance the scale of masculine and feminine, knowing when to use the assertion and when to use the compassion, and they're going, that's really what we're fine tuning at this point, is where and when do I use this? Because the feminines, and some of them have gone way out of whack in the masculine area, almost trying to be masculine, and they're realizing it's like, this something out of whack, it's not right, it's not, instinctively doesn't feel appropriate. So then they tone back, go to compassion, and then, well, maybe we get trampled on there, so we got to bring back that this is what they're making me feel. So the self-worth is very much in alignment with lining the scales of masculine and feminine, is what I'm getting. When we get those balanced, guess what? That's when our self-worth comes in at its peak. It's in direct correlation, is what they said, to balancing that masculine and feminine. When we feel secure to dip into our masculine side because we need this energy, or dipping into our feminine side because we need that energy, that's where self-worth will be at its most potency. Okay, boom, there it is. Now, again, I gotta stay away from that. I don't have my mic hooked up here. Past life, present power, strength. Yeah. Okay, give me a moment here. I think it's more than just needing strength to deal. I think it's more, this is going to give us strength once we start listening to these past life like a synchronicities, whatever's coming. Because man, I've had so many come through. A lot of them come through movies. Like you see scenes from a movie and you go, I know where that is. And you don't even know, you haven't even seen the credits yet. And you look at the credits, boom, that's where it is. I knew that area. It's like I've never been there in my life. I've never been there. But you feel like you've been there, this kind of thing. These kind of moments, these kind of things. And it could be in your head too, like a daydream, or it could be like third eye stuff where you're getting visions of things and places and times and you just know of a place, but maybe you've never been there in this life. Dreams, all of it. Now, there's something about learning to listen to those insights, learning to listen to those synchronicities that are going to gain you strength in your present. You know, understanding, that's why they want you to dive into the emotional center and say, okay, I had this dream about this girl with long hair. I don't have long hair, but medium, you know, whatever. She looked different than me, but it was me. It was me. I was walking around with that soul, and she was shy, and she, you know, but she had a fierce companion that she was looking after. And I was like, isn't that interesting? And as it turned out, that person I met in this life, I realized who that person was in this life. And in that life, it was my brother. And I was fiercely protective of him. And he had a disability and he was being put away by our parents. Our parents put him in an institution, and I went off and got married, and he was separate. And I was under the illusion that he was, how do you say, he was being looked after at home, but he was actually sent away. And I didn't know because I was being abused in a relationship with a man. So I was dealing with all of that. And every time I phoned, he would be there for a visit. And I didn't know that he wasn't there living there during the week. He was only there on visitation, and we'd call on the visitation days. So once I found that out, what I ended up doing is, you know, over, because it's kind of like you get this over a long period of time and you kind of put the pieces together. And what I found out was in that dream of that past life, basically I was being abused with this male, and I was trying to figure out a way to leave. And then once I found out, because I was saving money and kind of hoarding things to get ready to leave, to escape, and I just didn't know when or where. And then when I found out my brother was in an institution, the urgency went up. It's like suddenly I got to save my brother. I got to go do this. So I went off, and um, I took all my money. I stole a bike, like literally a pedal bike, and I drove to the institution. And it was like not in the same town I was in. It was like outside of a town. I had to drive like from farming area, like a small town, to a more, a little bigger town. And then I had to go in there, and I dropped the bike, and we had to basically sneak out of there. And then I lived with my brother because I was telepathic and my brother was mute. So we went and lived on a farm together for the rest of our lives, and we just looked after each other. We were just two souls. And in this life, I realized who that person was. So it was interesting because when I told that story to that person, they had a strong emotional reaction. So, not only that, this person, and if they come across this, they'll know who they are. They had a life changing moment because the disability that my brother had in a past life was he was mute, he couldn't speak. And in this life, he carried that with him. He always felt, even though he could talk, he felt like he shouldn't talk. He felt like he shouldn't speak his mind, like he shouldn't. And after I exposed that story to him, that went away. That feeling went away. He had a little bit of a whoop-de-doo there of dealing with the emotional flow of that, and then that lifted. So that's what I mean about carrying past life into present, and you just don't realize who these people are until you do, until you have that strong emotional reaction. So I feel like the strength is the strong emotional reaction.
that we can get, and also the inner strength that we get because we overcome. The silence was overcome. You know, he had silence, he had his voice in his life, but he felt he should suppress it. So this is something that's always there, it's underlying until we listen to. And the universe, I'll tell you, they're chock full of shouting out synchronicities, shouting out through song, through a lot of it's coming through music. A lot of creative people are being guided. They are connected. They are so connected. Like, I don't want to name drop, but um, what's I was listening. I was listening to a song. I love these guys. What are they called? I can't remember their name now. Why am I blanking out? Anyway, they got. I'll post it. I think I have posted songs by them. Uh, Man, I'm not gonna stop until I get that name, please. One Republic. Thank you. They are connected. He is connected. The whole thing is connected. They pick up on energy streams. They basically are energy readers, and they spit out all these stories, ones that they've been through, and it may be, instances where they actually are cathartic for them, through song. It may be their own story, and maybe just a story they pick up intuitively, and they spit it out, and it's very healing. I get that through their music, and these are the types of musicians I listen to, and some of them may not even understand that process, but they're flowing with it anyway. Okay, carry on here. I'm gonna get into these ones and keep going here. Sorry, I'm just yabba dabba doo. Just going with the energies. It's been a while, and so yeah, be aware of your surroundings and slow down. Take in everything that you're getting. Your third eye is activated. It's coming to fruition here. You're trying to get your heart activated. We do have to listen to it. All kind of works together. Our third eye with our dreams, with our intuition, with all of it working together makes a huge picture, and it can create some great healing for people. But again, if we're in rejection mode, or some people, they're giving me the understanding, some people are in rejection mode and they don't feel like they're rejecting things. It's because of our upbringing, the way that we think about how we should receive messages, how we should get them. We may think, oh, we can only get it from a priest, or or whatever, that we can't get it from ourselves. This kind of thing is need to open our mind a little bit. But nonetheless, you'll be bombarded until you really can't listen to anything, because it's just going to be all over. It's going to be all over your vision, all over your hearing, all over your heart, all over your eyes, everything. All you're going to see, hear, and feel is what the universe wants you to see, hear, and feel, because that's for your highest good, right? We're not talking, I'm talking love and light here, not devastating, horrific things. I'm talking about good things that we can calm ourselves, clear our energy fields, and get into that kind of stuff. The good stuff, right? Beyond the veil of fear is what they said. Yeah. Opening that door. Yeah. We got to get beyond that veil of fear, because it's just too bloody thick at this time. It's thick. And a lot of it is just not listening. You got to kind of tune some of that out. Don't focus in areas, right? The news, all that, the pollution, news pollution, that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go. Third row. Self-worth, yeah. Feminines are gaining their self-worth. The masculines, everything's turned into shit. Why? Because they are hell-bent on going a certain way, and it is hell-bent. It is the ego. It is all the death of the ego, all of that. So they are fighting that till hell won't have it. I'm using those words. Yes, I am. That they're giving it to me. They're going, hell won't have it. And there's a reason it's creating chaos, because it is not for your highest good. And the universe saying, I'm going to give up until you flip over on your back. and let them rub your belly. You go, hey, it doesn't feel so bad. But they're just, I'm not going to flip. I'm not going to flip. I'm not going to flip over. I'm not going to flip. You know, this kind of thing is what they're comically giving me. Okay, here we go. Third row, we get into the Gaia deck here. One, we'll just go like one tippy toe in. The abundance, there it is. Beyond the chaos, beyond the veil of opening our heart. The fight creates the chaos, but behind it is the abundance. And what emotional support, emotional universal support we get once we do. You know, we're putting up chaos. It's like a kid having a fit. I don't want to have a bath. I don't want to, you know, he's full of mud, but I don't want to go in a bath. I don't want to. And then the mom throws him in there and then he's all clean. That's kind of what I'm getting. Now we can start. Now we can start. We open our heart, then we can start to really see where we need to put things. Okay, it's pretty simple, that one. So once we get past the veil, once we accept and open up to all that the feminine side of us, and again, doesn't mean bringing in a feminine. It means the feminine side of who those masculines are. They have to balance that side out in order to be a better masculine. And this is lost in translation there. The universe, they're fighting the universe on this, it's going to create chaos. Until you surrender to that love and compassion, it's going to create chaos. But beyond that is the abundance. Once you see, right? She's looking at birds and going, oh, this could be any energy, but the sense I'm given is this is her, and compassion and everything calms right down. Chaos goes away, and suddenly we're in union, right? The rainbows in the back, you know, all of that. Okay, boom. Self-worth, let's go here. What do we have on there? The Four of Fire. A moment here, because they're going, just pick up the self-worth card. We're done. We're close to balancing here, but we are fighting. I feel like they're trying to pinpoint where they're lacking in self-worth. And yeah, the universe is really because they're going, look at the ego, could be a symbol. They go, it could be a symbol of the universal energies themselves. I said, okay. As I listen to them. So that's the feminine with the energy, right? Just right on top of their head there. They're listening to that internal energy. And look at, there's a laser pointer there. And they are going to dive into their self-worth and start picking away at anything that doesn't bring them into balance. If we're a little high here, we're going to take away, right? Or if we're a little low in self-worth, we're going to figure it out. I feel like the feminine is in a good flow here where everything's coming in to be seen, and they just have to shoot that thing in the right direction and go after it. Make up their mind is what they said. They just have to make up their mind to go in there and deal with things. So there's a little bit of self-work here. It needs to be done with a feminine, but I feel like they've got their eyes in the right direction, and they are going after it, is the sense. Because they know they need to gain their self-worth. They're going in order to gain love. And this is what they're missing. They're feeling the missing of love. And I feel like the feminine has a greater understanding that without this self-worth, we won't attain the love that we want. Yeah, they're showing me a little heart, big heart, right? Without the self-worth, we get a little heart but there's something here we need to, disclose. And once we do, we'll get the big heart kind of thing. And it's all red, fiery. So I feel like the feminines are going to take action here in order to gain more of their self-worth if they have not done so already. Meaning, taken in action at this point in time to balance out their masculine and feminine that has given them the self-worth already to go forward to get a bigger heart. So, okay, if we're talking about relationships, whatnot, we may have not sacrificed ourselves in a relationship. We may have stood up for ourselves in a relationship quite highly, gained our self-worth, and now we're going after the goal here is to gain that big heart, right? Our little heart is on our shoulder, a chip on our shoulder. Oh, it was interesting how they put it. And also like the eye to see, yeah, interesting. So the feminine's really getting ready to rock and roll. And she's going it forward and bouncing out her masculine and feminine, gaining in her self-worth, not being tread upon by little hearts anymore. And we're going after what we want. And we're going to focus on that as we go forward. Boom. Very strong energy for that feminine. Okay. Now, as we get into the past life, present power again, you're being strung up in energies from the universe to help you remember past lives in order to help you gain more strength in your present. Okay. Now we get the Queen of Earth on here. A moment to suss her out. Yeah. Slow and steady, that bull, right? They just keep moving. They're big. They're bold. Nothing gets in their way. There's 2 fertile eggs here. They're green, lush. You know, everything with the Queen of Earth, she's lush. And I always say the Queen of Earth is the last of the queens. She's got all the keys. She's got her compassion from the water. She's got her fiery, active energy from the fire, and she's also got her mind process in good order. That they're balanced. So she doesn't do anything rash from the air, and then she's grounded on the earth, so she doesn't do any misdeeds. She's very balanced. She thinks before she acts, therefore she very seldom does she make a mistake, and if she does, she's very apt to come forward and accept responsibility for that, because the Queen of Earth, as the Queen of or the King of Earth, are very responsible people, and they are about learning. They understand there's a learning process here, and they also understand that they can pass it on to others. They have no shame in saying, well, I made this mistake. I'm telling you so you don't make that same mistake. I'm getting that highly here. Now, if we're talking about past life power, we may have some Queen of Earth, not necessarily masculine or feminine, but we may have some earth energies, okay? Because this is no signs here. It's all signs, I guess, is what I should be saying. No signs specifically, but we may have some people here that are grounding in their strength because they are coming to how you say that, flow with their past. They're accepting. So these would be of a higher spiritual nature. These would be people that are well into understanding past lives and whatnot. They're really recognizing it for what it's worth, is the sense that I'm getting. It's like, yeah, I remember that. And yeah, that was a past life. And yeah, you were part of it. And yeah, we did this. And yeah, we didn't accomplish that. And I was very this way and you were very that way and da da da. Like, I feel like this one is talking about everything to people very open-minded, very advanced in that, like, in that way of spiritualism. Someone who's very highly spiritual, they go outward, their third eye's open. It's interesting because they're going, you know, sometimes when we see no pupils, there's, you know, a sense they give me that, oh, we're not seeing properly. But if you look into, there's a little white reflection, right? Things are being reflected in there. So they are seeing on all levels. And not only that, they're flourishing. There's roses here in her headdress. And then they got the horns, the strength, right? But it's hidden strength, because they're so graceful with it. They can come out and they could tell you off. You wouldn't even know you were told off. That kind of thing. The Queen of Earth, she can do it with grace and dignity. tell you off and walk away, and you go like, wait a minute, did they did she just tell me off? You know what I mean? That's what I see in this one. It's not all earth, but is graceful, dignified. They have the compassion and understanding that maybe the fire sign don't have the time for. Uh, the water signs may not have the maturity, emotional maturity for. She's got it all. She's grounded in it. Okay, here we go. So it's a very forward energy here. And again, they're going, this is not restricted. There are some masculines coming into this energy and just opening and blossoming. So they want to make that correlation there because we're shutting all masculines in the same box. They're going, no, not so. There are masculines here that are coming into this graceful energy. And that's that again, they're feeling the strength, the pull of because the bull, man, you just don't get in the way of that one. And if you look on his skull, I don't know if I can get the light there. He's got like it almost looks like a lotus flower. It's kind of like peace. I come in peace, but I could cause a ruckus just by if you piss me off. But it takes a lot to get there because why? Because they're so understanding. They're the teachers of the universe. A lot of the earth signs, the way I see them as teachers, they have the humility to accept that they can make mistakes. Not only that, they can make mistakes in front of others and laugh about it because they know, nobody's infallible, not everybody's perfect and you can't do everything right all the time and this kind of thing. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is not going to be a short one. Okay, where were we? Did this one, we did this one. We in the chakra? Yeah, we're in the chakra cards. Then we're going to get in the sun and moon energy, and I don't know if I'm going to clarify with my infinity, masculine, feminine. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Okay, so the chakra deck here. You'll see there's some different energies coming out through this deck. I want me to use that this time. With the advancement the way that it is, I'm seeing a lot of getting little whispers here and there of things, and then about 2 weeks down the road, then it gets validated, that kind of thing. And if you're part of that flow, you're getting the same thing. It's like you'll get an instinct, and whether you follow it or not, you're getting validation a couple, weeks, months down the road. It's like, yeah, they told me this, and now here it is. This kind of thing is happening to everybody. So that's, trying to gain that trust in the universal energies. I'll tell you, I was 2013, and it's just now until I'm trying. That's how stubborn I can be. But it takes a lot to gain that trust, and even though you cannot drop your guard, right? You cannot just blindly follow anything. You have to always use your discernment. We're not going there now. We did the 10 of Swords already. Oh, I can't control. So we'll see where it goes. This is really great energy. It's just really, I think, stating as a whole where everybody's, people are at. We got feminine energies. You could be a masculine and feminine energy. Yes, you can. That are, they're keeping their eye on the prize. They know exactly what they want. They're going forward. They're not taking anything less. And then we got these masculines just in chaos because they can't or won't or refuse to open up. They're having fits here, trying to drop the ego and trying to, become into grace with everything is a hard pull for them to drop that ego and let go. So there's chaos ensuing is what I'm getting. I'll leave that Queen of Swords here in the middle. Oh, put her to the side. That's what they said. Put her to the side. We're going to go with, clarifying that. This masculine energy, because there's abundance. Beyond that veil of fear, there's abundance. But there's just so much fear here. And they feel so threatened, is the word. They got threatened. At this time, they're just not willing to take a chance, but they're not even letting themselves think sanely about it. It's kind of, things are getting, getting out of control here quite highly. Okay, cut and go. Okay. 5 of Wands, there it is. That's the disagreements. We'll put these down. This is this deck is usually the chakra deck has feminine images, but nonetheless, to balance this out, that's what they said. Um, and they're kind of in here, right? We have all of these women kind of putting the wand up at this one, and it's like they're all wanting to fight. Just give me a minute here. It's struggle, it's fight, right? Five of Wands, fire, taking action in a fiery kind of way. They're fighting. They're fighting. It's creating chaos because they don't want to give into that compassionate side. They feel it's the weaker. They feel they're gonna lose everything if they do that. It's all of this. But what they don't understand is that if they just release it, it's everything's just gonna come flowing in. So the Five of Wands is this, the struggle is real. Um, yeah, the masculines in struggle, one letting go of the ego. Seeing beyond the veil is our instinct. We're refusal of that, period. And that refusal of instinct is really what is creating the chaos, because the more we refuse it, the more chaos that ensues, right? Um, and even though they're trying to create peace, they don't understand what they need to do to do that. They don't know that they have to give in to that in order to create the peace. So Five of Wands is that struggle that they're keeping up. And again, all feminines kind of ha ha. In feminine energy there. Okay, now as we move on to the feminines, right? They're keeping their eye on the prize. Where are they going forward, higher, bigger heart, all of this. I do not. Yeah, they're going, we're opening in little stages. The feminine is opening and then closing, but each time they go back, they're opening a little wider and they don't even realize it. This is what, and this is, part of that flow. So they're making me aware of that. Now, the chakra card, they get us Two of Coins. And again, right? Little heart, big heart. The choice of here or there. And I feel like the universe has set these feminines up to make a decision here. Are we going to put up with, right? I'm not going to go down that lane so much as to say that the sun is brighter on this side, the waves are higher here. Their body language, they're going in that way. They're going towards the peace and not the chaos, right? So opposed to what the masculine is doing. He's going right into the chaos and creating more. But again, the masculine is almost closed to the answers because it's like, yeah, they're fighting the thing that they need to open up to. Okay, so as we get on to this wonderful queen of earth energy, some people are opening up. They're opening up to their past lives. They're recognizing it for what it is. They're taking those lessons from that life, bringing it into this life, clearing that energy, and moving forward pure and whole. What do we get there? The Magician. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay. Because this is where the Magician gives the wand of action to go forward and start their journey. I do feel like these people have been on journey after journey after journey, and it's gone well. Like they've learned their lessons, they take the lesson forward, and there's no trying to deceive anybody. There's no trying to be anything that we're not. This kind of thing. It's just pure energy that we're going forward. And not only that, look at he's giving the wand, but there's the cup, the coin. Everything is at his disposal or hers. They can go in any direction that they want. They can get anything that they want. Why? Because they're balanced. They've got the energy at its best here. It's in the right package. It's in the right wrapping. It's the right weight. It's I can fit through the slot. Sometimes you want to send a package, it's too big. It's like all of these parameters have been met in the Queen of Earth. So this will symbolize those that are in the flow. They're feeling it. They're gaining abundance. Things are coming at them. They're accepting them. They're feeling highly in charge. They don't feel like they're under the gun of anything else. They feel free to make decisions wisely, choose wisely. There's nothing holding them in any way. They don't allow it. Yeah, they corrected me. They would not be allowed in this frequency. So these are, I think, this is the advanced course here, right? We're in a flow. We're understanding what it takes to manifest things in our life. We understand the lessons that we need to learn. We understand how to learn them and how to bring them forward. And this is all working in a way where we're going to continue to go forward with all our tools, consciously, right? Being aware. Okay, all good. Alrighty. Now the sun and moon cards. This kind of brings in the masculine, feminine energy, right? Sun and moon. For me, this deck is always kind of like the soulmate deck, because the sun and moon, and it's these little pictures that are very lovey-dovey here. Well, it could be treachery as well. Alrighty, here we go. So I feel like this is where we break it down into individual relationships, or a bunch of individual relationships. The what do they call that? Collection of people that are in these energies, struggling. Yeah, some are struggling, some are riding the wave, and some are getting on the board because they're seeing it coming. Right? This is how we're going. Again, the Queen of Swords is off to the side. I'm going to bring her in at the end here, because she is someone that creates boundaries, right? She doesn't let anybody pass on. You know, you got to have your ticket. Where's your ticket? Oh, I lost it. Well, you can't get through. You know, this is that barrier, you know, between, you know, the chaos and the freedom from chaos, right? And those that are trying to pick that lane right now and maybe not seeing it so clearly. That's the discernment, right? Above all here. Okay, 2, 1. I don't even have a marker here for all 1 or 2. Yeah. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, yeah. So here we go. Okay, so these are still masculine energy. Strictly, they're going. This is strictly that masculine energy. So again, the abundance is when we accept certain things that we are rejecting at this moment. The struggle's real. It's right there. Ace of Pentacles, there's an opportunity coming forth for these masculines. This is about gaining big things, right? This is what we want. The Ace of Pentacles, that's the big guns. It's an opportunity. I feel like the masculine's really going to see coming. We're going to go, yeah, that, I want it. Give it to me. I want to take that. So it's a new door, new opening that should leave no guesswork here. You know, if we've had guesswork in the past and, you know, we don't see things, you know, everything's veiled and we're just kind of kicking and screaming. We don't, you know, we don't trust our instinct. We don't trust maybe anything outside of us to give us advice. The sense too I'm getting is some may be in a place where they're starting to think about where they're at a little more. And because of that, I feel like that's where this Ace of Pentacles is coming from. And the Pentacles can be about money. It could be going after money in that way. But I feel like this opportunity, it may just be a huge opportunity to make money. But I feel like it's more than that for the masculine. I feel like this opportunity is here. And it's like every single bone in our body agrees that we got to go in this way. Why? Because we've kind of been put at the bottom of the barrel here. And I don't want to say there's nowhere else to go, but it's just going to be glaringly obvious is really what they're giving me here. We're going to know that we need to take this path and we're going to start walking down it. So, and I feel like the universe kind of cornered you into that in order to see this, because we may have had so much stuff going on that we didn't see it. And now we see it like neon, right? Okay. Now the feminine and her choices that she has to make here too as well. Look at this. It's going to be a little harder for her to make her decision. Why? I feel like on a certain level, if we break it down, one option is better than another. But we may have something either going on in our life at that time, or some illusions around us that may create a fog, so to speak, that we may not quite see things clearly. So that could be manipulation. That could be people lying, and then we find out they're lying after, but we thought they were telling this kind of thing. So it may not be as easy to see as the masculine. The masculines, I mean, it's like the sun of the day, the sunrise, like it's there. This is that opportunity. I think the masculine's been through enough that um, either we had more towers fall in our place that we just realize now that we can't go in certain directions anymore. So there's one direction left, or I don't know what it is, but it's just going to be glaringly obvious for the masculine, but not so for the feminine. The moon is here. There's illusions. There could be people lying, or we could just not know on a higher level. The interesting thing is, she's all in red, poking out here. I feel like we know where we want to go, but there may be some illusions around it. We're headed in a direction that may not be totally illuminated at this point. It's something that we feel that we want, but it may turn out to be a stormy day, bright, um, calm day kind of thing. Give me a minute here. Yeah, we're just not going to see it as clearly. And there may be an opportunity here to make a choice, but we may not know that there's a choice to be made. Okay, this is the way they put it to me. Okay, so that. Now, as we get onto this past life energy, again, this beautiful energy, the Queen of Earth, she's been through she's carrying all her lessons forward. She's going forward to grace and dignity. She's in her compassion mode as well. The Magician has given her the wand, the cup, the coin, and the sword, so she can start her journey and go forward. We have the Queen of Pentacles again. Yeah, give me a minute here. It's interesting because I always get a kick out of this card because we have this woman and she's got like a film strip with her, and then the goat is sitting there looking at her like, you have, what is that going to do you out here? And like, this ain't going to help you out in the, oasis. So I get a sense he's kind of looking at her going like, you are ill-equipped. Now give me a minute. Something missing here. We're listening to her past life energy. We've learned the lessons. We're bringing it forward. Okay, because we're going into new territory. So it is all new to us. We're bringing what we think we need, but we realize that we may not need those things that, okay. This is along with the illusion, they said. Now, give me a minute here. Okay. You know what they said to me is, they're going, we bring all our tools and we think these are the lessons, and it's very clear to us the lessons that we've learned. We're very proud of those lessons. But as we go forward, we may not need those tools particularly at this time. We may be blanking out on a certain area. Again, she's got a film strip. What do you need a film strip for? You're in the desert. There's nothing here. Like, this is the sense they're giving me. So it's like, well, I don't know. I thought we could watch movies. They're like, where are you going to watch a movie? Like this, I'm getting this. Like we're ill-equipped for where we're headed, but yet we have all these nice lessons and whatnot. And again, we have the grace and dignity. So whatever way this comes at us that we're ill-equipped, I feel like we will deal with it in grace and dignity, no matter. But it will be a little bit choppy waters. They're going, the water there, rough. They're going, it'll be a little rough because as equipped as we think we are, we're not pompous about being equipped. Okay. Yeah, they're going, take the tools, because all these tools that we feel like we have to go forward gives us that excitement to go forward confidently. They're going not pompously, but confidently. This is now of no use where we're headed. Now, it's not that it completely of no use, but it's not prominent in where we're headed. We need different tools. And the reason that we need different tools is because this is the focus that we lost back here. We thought we had we thought we had our shit together here of our balance in a masculine and feminine. We may be balanced in masculine and feminine energy, and we may know where to put that. But this has nothing to do with that, right? So as the masculine, right, is rejecting the ego, death, and whatnot, that's creating chaos. I feel like the feminine is going to come across the same situation in the future, but in a different perspective, like in a different way, there's something here that the feminine feels well equipped to handle anything that comes at her, but in a sense, it's a false sense of security because they're kind of going forward here, not having all the tools. Now, I don't know exactly what that is. That may be where the Queen of Swords comes in. We may not have our boundaries completely where we're completely set with our boundaries. So again, the feminine and masculine, right? The feminine is about compassion, and what is the feminine can have a tendency to let people overrun her. She may have a high instance here where she's balanced out her masculine and feminine energies. So what would be the problem? They said guarding. Guarding of the self as they move forward. So we may be over guarding ourselves to a degree, but anyway, whatever the scenario, they're kind of veiling that to me as well. What do you know? I'm feminine, um, because as we move forward, we really got to figure out that path on our own. And that is that a goat? That's a goat, right? Or what do they call that? Like a mountain goat. Um, I see it. Stand in our way because it's like that's of no use here. You can't use that here. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. All your lessons, they're no good here. This hmm. They were under the illusion that they were well equipped. And even though they are in those areas where they're going, that's not what is predominant. What's predominant is what this queen has as, and this queen is very strict with her boundaries and rules. This queen of earth is very giving and what are the differences they said? Let's just bring that down. This one was here. Yeah, what are the differences? The queen of earth is much more accepting of things and behavior of others. The queen of swords will listen to you if you make sense to her up to a point. The Queen of Swords dictates how you move forward. She will interact on a highly intellectual level. The Queen of Earth, she can also come from this space, though she finds it unappealing to use her intellect above, how would you say, to make others feel, how would you say, like not smart. She doesn't like her, she will not belittle, right? People. Perceptions are different. This one is guarding of self, feeling a high self-worth, and almost like the Seven of Swords, right? Like you back off. You come to me only if you are worthy. I do not feel that she lacks this. I feel she has boundaries, but she's more patient. She's more um, reliable with her answers. You go to her and you're going to get a lot more compassion than the Queen of Swords. Not that she can't carry compassion, but she'll only carry compassion to those that specifically meet her criteria. This one won't. She'll deal with everybody. She'll go around and say, oh, okay, you don't. She doesn't kind of, she doesn't create barriers as much as this one does. Be quite sharp with people, with our tongue, with our words, with this one is very more refined. We don't like to hurt other people's feelings. So we think longer and harder about how we say, what we say, da da da. Hmm. What are you trying to say here? Evolvement. Yeah. So some of us may be in this Queen of Swords energy, but need to open into the Queen of Earth energy, or evolve into, is what they said. We are quite guarded at this time. We need to drop some of that. We don't need to drop the internal smarts, but we need to be aware of how we come across to others. Queen of Swords doesn't really care how she comes off or how you take her. She will just kind of be, she can be cold and bitter. She needs to be, but she's always justified. Even though the Queen of Earth is always justified, she has no sense of going outward with a sharp tongue. She's very graceful, man. What's another word? She's very eloquent with her words. She knows how to use them, how to place them, not to insult people, not to da da da, not to offend, right? She does it with class and dignity and reserved sense of self. This one's very in your face, bold, or you're coming up to her for answers and she's back at you with bold. So there's a sense of some growth needing to happen here. Queen of Swords, some of yous might be in this energy and need to kind of soften your edges with the Queen of Earth's energy. Okay. I am going to pull. Yeah, I'm going to pull 3 masculine and 3 feminine. I'll do the feminine first here, and then I'm done. That's it. My cat's starting to stir here. Hey, Nico? I want her to start yapping. You have to come in, you have to go out. Okay. So what are the feminines up to here from this deck? So yeah, had some time. This was kind of an interesting reading. It's a lot of energy. It's pretty blanket from everything. I didn't think I got too specific on things. So hopefully, I know I'm sorry. It's always an hour. Get a little excited when the flow is here. Okay. Oh. Why are you? Okay. And you know what? I'm going to pull out the masculine energy as well. That's a feminine energy with these men here. So we may have a choice. Our choice may be between partners. Wish upon a star. How far away you are. That's what they said. So you may have 2 people at a distance. You have a Knight of Earth and a Knight of Water. Ooh, that's a tough choice there. They're both knights though. So they have some growing to do as well. One comes from his heart and one comes from his stability. You may be wishing upon this or wishing for amalgamation of something like this. Okay. Now, for the masculine cards. Wouldn't it be funny if those energies matched up? Like the Queen of Water and the Queen of Earth. And then the moon, stars, moons. Okay. Sorry. Just in a weird mood today. One more, we're done. So this is the masculine energy here. I'm going to shuffle. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look at that. Right down the center. Alrighty. Okay, Knight of Water. This is the feminine. Okay, so we're dealing with, right, balancing out our masculine and feminine. May have a Knight of Water. The bedroom eyes, the soft, I understand you. Tell me all your secrets and I will just listen and give you the most emotionally balanced answer that I can come up with at this stage. This kind of thing. Knight of Water. He's a sensitive dude. Sensitivity. I think these women are looking for sensitivity, feminines. They're looking for people that understand them, understand what they're going through, not afraid to see you in tears, not afraid to console you while you're in tears instead of running away. This kind of thing is what I'm getting. I need someone sensitive to emotions on that side, okay? Highly, there's a lot that came from that one. Knight of Earth, okay. Yeah, he's the practical dude. He just oozes stability. You feel secure with him, even though you may not know a lot about him. You just feel secure. When he's there, you feel safe. He makes you feel safe. He makes you feel like he can handle anything. This is that dude. I feel like these two dudes mixed together are exactly what the feminine is looking for. But nonetheless, it could be two separate dudes. Okay, so just because we got the two of pentacles here, and that's about choices. One may be a little more fiery than another, or a little more challenging, or a little more disruptive, but we're facing the calmer waters here, whichever way that hits, right? So this Knight of Earth, okay. Again, the stability. That's what he has to offer. He takes great pride in offering that stability. He knows that's his niche. He knows I'm stable. And, you know, some guys out there, they're not so stable. And you come with me, you get stable. Like, this is kind of what I'm getting. Like, he has quite a self-worth, this energy that I'm picking up on. So again, there's that Knight. The next one, 17, the Star. This is the feminine energy. This is a couple wishing on a star. Now, this could be, give me a minute here. This is the feminine. I got to remember I made the masculine and feminine differently. Yeah, the masculine deck, he's reaching for the stars. Here, it's being in a couple and wishing for a couple goals, right? We're wishing. So this is all about the wishes. We're wishing for a sensitive dude that's stable, right? Like, who doesn't want that? Of course we are. It's a little obvious, don't you think? Yeah, that's simply it. That's our this is what we're going. That's our right here. These two. It I always used to say it takes about 3 men to make me happy because you just can't find it in one. But um, I do feel like some people are going to have to choose between, you know, a sensitive, caring individual and a strong, stable individual. That's a hard choice, man. Like, look at like that's a hard choice. I don't know, but I feel like the feminine. She's really, yeah. They're going the moon. Yeah, this is why it's hard because they both have great, wonderful things to offer. And if you're lucky enough to get these two, again, they have growing to do, but from these in the feminine deck, I do feel there's a lot of potential for each one of these. And again, it's not going to be so easy for the feminine to choose between these two. They both got bedroom. They all have bedroom eyes. It comes out at different times, but you know what I mean. It's like sensitivity. That's a great and wonderful thing, you know, and it makes him stronger because he can he can tackle it. You know, not a lot of men can stay in the same room and be with you while you cry. And this guy, you just, you know, it's like it's in his chart, you know, to be successful and have all that he needs to get by. It's kind of, it's so ingrained in him. He never loses sight of that, you know. Yeah. Okay. So boom, there's the feminine side. We have a choice. We may have a choice between two men or characteristics of men that we really need to create boundaries so that we get what we want, a sensitive man that's solid and stable. Okay. Now on the masculine side, we have the high priest, believe it or not. High priest here, I brought him in because he seems like a wizard, right? And a wizard seems more approachable to a masculine than a priest. Even though it's called the high priest, he's a wizard. And wizards, I feel like this is my perception of the masculine's idea, but intuitively led. The high priest, this wizard, he seems more powerful. To the masculine, yes, who would you go to if you had one wish, whatever? Would you have a wizard or a priest? You go like a wizard. The priest, I just pray, my boat don't sink kind of thing. But I feel like the wizard is more powerful to the masculine. Now, having said that, I feel like that's part of what the masculine is going through. They're trying to find their inner wizard. They're trying to find their inner power, their magician, if you will. This is the wizard is the magician on steroids. he's not only got the tools, he knows how to use them, and he knows how to get results. And that's what I feel like this masculine's going after. He's trying to gain results in his life. And it may not, unfortunately, be in alignment with what the universe wants him to work on, his heart and compassion. This is not where they're going. They want to learn about gaining power and control of things. And unfortunately, the universe is going, no, we have to go to step 2 before we can go to step 5. This power and control, you got to earn that. So you got to go backwards. So they're trying to kick him back and get rid of the ego, because a wizard, he doesn't have a high ego. So we got to learn to have humility. We ain't got that yet. So we got to go back a few steps. And this is what the masculine is refusing to do. They don't understand. I don't need that, this kind of thing. So I feel like the high priest, the wizard, I should have put the wizard, is trying to gain that power and control. And I feel like universally it's not aspect. That's the fight. King of Earth, this is the guy. He's got everything, man. He's relaxing with a cigar with his buddies. He's got the shades on. He's the man, right? This is where they want to be. They want to be sitting on their desk with their feet up, their cigar in their hand on a Friday afternoon, scheduling the date with the wife, the girlfriend, or whatever. Right? Because the king, he's got a significant other, and she's at home. This is her, right? She's at home taking care of the roost. She has no problem that way. Everything's going smooth. Sorry about that. And everything's going groovy. So this is them having it all. And she is a prize, right? So I can make this guy as pompous, but he's still a king. So he's earned his right to be a little pompous, but he knows when to put it in the trunk. He knows when to put the ego away. He can bring it out with his buddies, but when he's at home with the wife, they are equal match. They're graceful. They treat each other with respect and dignity. It's all there. But he can blow it up, right, with the buddies. But he comes home and he knows. And the buddies know. The buddies know. It's not like he's putting on a front and saying, the lying about. He don't lie. He says, my wife, she's worthy, and I listen to her because I feel she's worthy and her word's worthy. And she listens to me because she thinks I'm worthy, and we're both equal. Alrighty. Now we have the hangman. Give me moments. Yeah. We're hangman mode because we're fighting what we think we need to gain to get the power. We want to be the king. And this is where we're at right now. We're trying to gain our power and wisdom. And part of the wizard is that intuitive self, which we're rejecting. So let's go back here. How far? This one. Right? This is the abundance. The universal energy, they want you to have it, but they want you to have it and keep it. They don't want it to be taken from you. And in order to do that, we have to go from A to B to C to D. Not from A to Z, but A to C, A, B, C. And there's steps missing here is what they said. And part of it is our humility is a huge part. We have to back off of our ego is leading the way here. It's running too many shows here. And what else? And not listening to our instinct, right? We're listening to our ego. It's shouting. And that's the thing. If it's your ego, it will be obscene. It will be, it will be pushy. It will be shovey. It will be speedy. It will be quick. You have to make decisions. You can't wait. You can't, there's no patience with the ego. It's all speed. So there's a hint there as to what you need to tone down. The abundance is waiting to come in, but we're in hangman because we're fighting the things we're fighting, learning, the thing. It's like, I don't want to get my chemistry, but I still want to go to grade 12. I don't want my geometry. I don't want my whatever. What were the boring? Trying to remember the classes I skipped. Chemistry, was it physics? Yeah, that was another one. That one I could actually use. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to skip. Like, you have electives, you can pick this one or that one. And it's like, yeah, I don't want my physics. I don't want to think about numbers and chemistry. Yeah, I could use it. If you're giving me an option, I'm going to choose not to. But the universe not giving them an option. That's why. That's why we're stuck. Because the universe going, oh no, you cannot skip that class. You cannot skip grace. You cannot skip humility. We have to get this, and we're going to keep giving it to you. Like, keep flipping you on your belly, and then, until you let us scratch it, kind of thing. And again, there's an opportunity opening up here for these masculines, just going to be glaring, obvious. Now, are we hanging? Just give me a minute here. Are we hanging? Yeah, they're going. When and how this opportunity comes in is in direct correlation to the struggle and fight and chaos that these masculines put up. So if we're surrendering, like some of the masculines, I do feel they're kind of, where are we here? They're kind of in a mode where they're sitting back and going, okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Like, what am I missing? Those ones, I feel like they'll get this opportunity by the new year, before the new year or just shortly after, when things speed up. And those that are fighting and having a lot of chaos in their life at this time, it may take a little longer for that energy to come in because it's not a match. This wonderful energy is not a match to the chaos and the five of what, like the chaos and struggle. This is not a match, so it can't come in. So we got to drop the chaos, drop the struggle and fight, and get slow in the flow. And guess what? Then it comes in. Not only that, having our compassion on board, this veil that's not been lifted to the masculine, peek behind there and see what. I feel a lot of them have been introduced to it. They're just like, hey, I don't need that class. That's emotions 101. Like, there's no way. Just a way. Can I take, can I do the midterm and then just see if I have enough to pass the rest of that? Like, it's just not floating. This is what I'm getting. So they're wanting to skip steps in the emotional center. They're wanting to skip. Do we have to hold compassion or can we just understand that it's there? They're going, no, we have to feel it and we have to be in it and we have to, the King of Earth can be quite, this one, little less, but he can be quite compassionate. He can be quite understanding, quite forgiving, all of it. But the struggle is real. The struggle is real. I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing because story time. I was outside painting and my dad was working on a boat motor and just nothing was going right for him. So I was like, I just, he's mad. The expletives were flowing and I could tell, it's not like my dad to kind of swear too much. So I knew things were going heavily wrong. So that's like, so the struggle's real. And he goes, the struggle is freaking real. That was like, it's funny because my dad doesn't say a lot of the time. So it's just funny to me. So now they're bringing it up, throwing it in my face. I'm basically sending that energy back to the masculine. It's real. And there's a bit to learn here that we want to skip steps. We want to skip over all that feminine stuff And unfortunately, we need that to get to our abundance, or at least the opportunity to gain the abundance. If that's slowing down and you're losing your pentacles, or opportunities are not where they should, and this is a high indication, first look at your ego. Where's that sitting at this time? Secondly, look at what you're fighting and try and drop that. And then third, try and relax and think about where you want to go and how you want things to be, and see if it doesn't change. Okay, give me a minute here. They want to say about the Queen of Swords having to do with the masculine. So we talked about the feminine energy. Oh, in blockage. There may be some of these masculines may be actually dealing with a Queen of Swords there. They're blocking out. And that is causing havoc in their life, because they just have to confront it head on. And this will go away. That's what they're saying. We have to deal with this head on. It's a fear. We face it, we open up, and we let it go. All of this fighting, we may have some masculines here fighting with a feminine energy, creating chaos, but we're not confronting that person. We're just fighting. Like, we're not dealing with the issue here, is the sense that I'm getting. There's something that needs to be dealt with here. And we may be in fear of what this, here we go back to that other reading of what this person can do to it. Because of the sharp way that she deals, right? A lot of people fear her, but they fear her because they've wronged her. That's where she comes out at her worst. She is not her worst when people abide or have, these certain things that, and again, they're got rough edges to work out here in this Queen. But nonetheless, she needs to be dealt with head on, is what they said. So some may be avoiding dealing with things, and it's creating chaos in their life, and da-da-da-da-da. So that needed to be said there. Okay, so rough overview. The masculine is in an energy here of trying to balance out some feminine energy. They're really rejecting that energy, or not able to introduce that energy at this time. It may be because there's other things in their life that are creating so much chaos, they just can't get into that mode. There is a new opportunity coming forth for them to get into their right stability, but they have to find their inner wizard, and their inner wizard is telling them to do things, but because they're not listening, they're in hangman mode. The feminine, she's balancing things out, looking toward her abundance. Or no, this was on the masculine side. Sorry. Was that? Yeah, whatever. No, this is here. Oh, man. Yeah, we're dealing with abundance coming through here. Scales of balance here. The masculine and feminine is being worked out. We have a decision or choice to make, having to do with the way we want to go forward here. Also, we may have had an instance in the past where our self-worth has been bolstered or changed in some kind of way. We are focused on our future and what it is that we want. We may have a choice of two masculines here and unable to see clearly which one to choose. But be aware of illusions, because I feel like one of these people is wearing a mask for some. And then the stars is couple goals of getting together with this person and then seeing the future with them. And I feel, again, this has been going on from some of the readings. I feel like if we look at this one, we're going to see a clear future, and we look at this one, we're going to see a clear future. And one of them is going to be short on supply, meaning we don't see a long term with them. We see short term. So whoever that sits with, that's the one that needs to prevail. We need to, if we can't see it in our head, we can't visualize it in our head, it can't be. But if we can see ourselves with that person and things going right, that's kind of a sign. Yeah, I could see myself with that person. That means that you could possibly work things in that way. So, and I mean, we're not talking daydreams here. We're talking grounded, relaxed energy, not hopes, right? We're talking about, can I see myself really getting along, like getting real with this one or this one? And one of them is you're gonna see as more of a long-term partner, more stable, more, something here. And it could go either way. I'm not gonna isolate one of these. And I feel like whatever way you choose, this is going to be the two of you working toward a future of making each other's dreams come true, kind of thing, or wishing on things to gain as a couple. And this third energy, again, talking about the past life stuff, it's really going to help us gain strength and power and momentum in our way forward here, even though we feel the feminines may be quite equipped. They may be ill-equipped for where they're headed because they don't quite see that. But the Queen of Earth is a good start because she is the last before we get into the Empress or the High Priestess energy. She's got all her instincts. She's grounded. She's real. She doesn't let anything fly off of her in any kind of rash way. So we have a level head to come from. So whatever comes at us, we should be able to deal with it with grace and dignity. So, wow, that's the energy report. Sorry, guys, I get long-winded and I got a lot of energy flowing here. So that is the energies they wanted to convey at this time. I was free, so we struck it out. I didn't even get to use my little wand. Nice, pretty little wand. I'm just going to tink, 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 hit everybody with the star energy. Stars can be about healing and creating a new future as you go forward. Queen of Earth, she can deal with anything. The Hangman, it may take a while to get into that energy. So take care, guys. Have fun and be kind. I will talk to you when I talk to you. If I get another inkling or another spurt of energy, I may come in and do a shorter reading for whoever may need it. This was the bulk overall, what do you call the collective? Everybody. This is your reading. So hopefully that helps you give a blank check. Take care, have fun, and be kind.